Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. This is ASMR Remedy, and I post new ASMR content whenever my schedule allows. So it's been a few weeks, and a lot of you guys know I'm studying for the bar exam. Every day has its own challenges and is a whole different mental journey. I have barely been able to keep up with laundry and, grocery shopping, let alone doing something extra and creative with my brain, like sitting down and filming, editing, uploading. I did film my life for an entire week to do like a vlog, and I just haven't gotten around to editing it. And at this point, it's been like almost a month since I shot that, so I don't know. It'll probably eventually go up, but anyways. So today, I've been seeing a lot of videos, especially people doing this with books, of reacting to 1-star reviews of their favorite books. I decided to do it with films. I can totally do it with books sometime, but it's easier for me to remember. It's easier for me to remember more detail about my favorite movies, and also I typically post reviews on Letterboxd every time I watch a movie. So anyways, basically I'm gonna be reacting to 1-star reviews of films that I gave 5 stars to. I have not planned like what films I'm gonna look at. I'm kind of gonna just think of what my favorite movies are and what I've given 5 stars, and then go through Letterboxd and see what's up. On a Letterboxd, I will post my handle in the description. Be friends with me on Letterboxd. I will post my handle. So let's just do it. First of all, on Letterboxd, you have like your top four. So we'll definitely just start with those. And my top 4 is in no particular order, but we'll just start with one of my top 4 films, which is Get Out. Did I post a review for Get Out? I don't know. Did I? I don't know. Okay. So Get Out's average rating on Letterboxd is 4.2 stars, so maybe it will be tough to find a 1-star review, to be honest. I think I can sort reviews. Perhaps. The most overrated movie, oh, this is a 0.5 star, even worse. The most overrated movie of all time. The plot twist is not anything special either. I was able to figure out the twist within the first 25 minutes of the movie. This is at best a generic psychological horror film, and at its worst, predictable and uninspiring. By the way, I have my iPad in case you guys are wondering where I'm reading these from. Literally just don't agree. 0.5 star, this sucked. Okay. 0.5 star, I don't know why I watched this a 3rd time. It gets worse every time I watch it. I sometimes rewatch movies to be like, was it really that bad? So I get it, but like, I loved Get Out, you guys. Obviously, it's in my top 4 films. I can understand why somebody wouldn't love this, but I cannot imagine somebody watching this film and hating it. Yeah, I can't. I really can't. Okay, next. So this is crazy. I actually put a movie that was released this year into my top 4, and I've had the same top 4 for a long time. I recently added challengers to my top 4, I can't remember if I've already talked about Challengers on this channel, but I did see it twice in theaters and I left a review both times. So I'll read you my reviews and then we'll look at the bad ones. Okay, my first review, first watch, 5 stars. And they say female friendships are complicated. Okay, but seriously, I haven't ever been this simultaneously anxious and horny while watching a film. And the sound, I want to watch it again and again and again. Absolutely no notes. Then the next week I went and saw it again. 5 stars again, of course. Tashi and Patrick would love I Can See You by Taylor Swift. If you know, you know. So I watched this twice in May of this year. And yeah, I just love this film so much. And I think I've talked about it in a video, but if I haven't, I will do another video probably within the next couple of months talking about like every film I've watched recently. This has an average of 4 stars on Letterboxd. I want to see if I can find a 1-star review. I think these are just like sorted by popularity, and I would rather do that than sort them by lowest, because they just have like okay, instead of just automatically searching for a 1-star, like I think I would settle for a 2-star that's well written and like has something to say. Okay, here we go. Here's a 2-star review. Art Donaldson is a fraud with only Mickey Mouse majors. This supposed challenger does nothing but get pushed around by his washed-up wife coach, who is a very mean woman. Real racketheads know that Patrick Zweig is the GOAT. I liked this one well enough. Josh O'Connor steals the movie. Great original score and a really good last scene. But am I the only one who felt the marketing in this movie was deeply misleading? 2 stars? I feel like that sounds like kind of a good review, actually. I think saying that Art Donaldson sucks is not a super hot take. Okay, let's find another one. 2.5 stars. As the story flashed back and forward in a seemingly never-ending fashion, I question if this match would ever end. Can't fault Zendaya for wanting to be with the winner, though. I can understand people like being over it, like the match taking place for like the entire film, but also like that's what kept us tied to present day. And I felt that the match was moved, like the challenger match was moved forward by the flashbacks. Like I had no issues with the pacing of this film, to be honest. Let's see if I can find one more bad one. So many good reviews, you guys. Oh, okay. Here's a 1-star review. This is kind of long. That's okay. We'll read it. I'm so tired of cheating narratives as a plot device for drama. It's the fridging of romantic dramas, overused, underanalyzed, and disrespectful of the humanity that the film is showing us. There's nothing romantic about Challengers, nothing worth getting horny over, nothing to think about once the film's through. I was following, not enjoying, but following this film until the last 15 minutes or so, where the ostensible protagonist becomes unforgivable and loses any moral high ground they may have in favor of schlocky bullshit. Absolutely embarrassing that slow-mo sweat in the most chaste of sex scenes is considered hot or steamy. I'm sure the post-nut clarity on this shit is insane. Luca keeps stacking up disappointments since Call Me By Your Name, and this is no different. 1/2 star for the truly incredible Reznor and Ross score, which is immersive and overwhelming in the best way, and provided a much-needed respite from this bullshit. Okay, I disagree with most of this, except talking about how great the score is. Love this score, and I sometimes listen to it while I'm driving, but it does make me anxious. I do, saying that Tashi loses any moral high ground, I can see that, and it definitely makes you root, like not like Tashi anymore, but I just think like that's part of it, you know? I don't know. Okay, next film in my top 4 is Prisoners. I don't feel like Challengers or Get Out needed like a synopsis really, because I feel like everyone knows what they are, but Prisoners came out 2013 and it stars Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman. And essentially Hugh Jackman is a father of a child who goes missing, and Jake Gyllenhaal is a detective and who's kind of like not that good at his job, and they basically team up as father and detective to hunt down these missing children. It's directed by Denis Villeneuve, a big fan of his, and I haven't seen this one in a while. I need to rewatch it again soon, but I love it. I don't think I haven't reviewed this one, but I gave it 5 stars, but I haven't written a review for it. I just started writing reviews like a year ago maybe. So, oh, and I didn't say, I'm sorry. It has an average of 4.3 stars on Letterboxd. Wow, I have such good taste. Okay, this one is 3 stars. I'll read just the beginning of it because it's long. Average, seldom engaging thriller with a couple of compelling performances and a miraculous cinematography by Deakins, which should have been used elsewhere. I get it. Crucial decisions, self-inflicted justice, bringing out the inner demons through loss of faith, all of this with a half-cooked commentary on the repercussions of unconscious biases that result in discrimination and the brutal implications of torture. Average, seldom engaging with a couple of compelling performances. I was hooked. This is a long film, okay? This is like almost a 3-hour movie, and I remember being glued to my screen the entire time the first time I watched this. And I think that not only are the performances of Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal compelling, but I think it's genuinely some of the best performances I've seen from either of them. I don't know. This movie is so good. Okay, this one says, the ending is sort of annoying, TBH. If you've seen this film, the ending like makes it. The ending is fantastic, and I think that's like one of the hardest things, especially about like a type of thriller to get right, is the ending. So I don't know. I don't get that. I love it. Okay. We clearly aren't meant to feel for Keller beyond some basic sympathy over his child being missing. He's characterized as a hard ass from the beginning, the tough but fair kind, which might not be warm, but also isn't malicious either. However, when the kid goes missing, he almost immediately goes absolutely fucking mental and kidnaps the mentally ill young man who's the first suspect, ensuing to beat him up and flat out torture him for nearly a week. Yeah, that's maybe a little intense, but also I can't imagine the feeling of like your child being missing. So saying like he goes crazy when that happens, it's like, wouldn't you? And I don't know. It's saying like basic sympathy. I'm like, his child was kidnapped. Okay, the last film I have in my top 4 is Goodfellas, the Scorsese classic from 1990. Did I give this a review? No. Just 5 stars. I really did only start reviewing films in like the last year or so. Oh wait, this is funny. I don't know, dudes. I've only been properly watching films for less than a year, but I'm already tired of watching grown-ass white men running around shooting each other. That's funny, because that's basically what the film is. That's like what all of Scorsese's films are, actually. What's the rating? The average rating on this is 4.5 stars. You guys, everybody loves this film. I'm gonna definitely have to sort it by low reviews. Half star, movie is dog shit. Okay. Half star, To be honest, this was the most boring and uninteresting movie I've seen. You don't have connection to the characters, and the plot is straight up boring. I tend to just like mob crime type of films, so perhaps if you hate that, I can understand why you would think the plot is boring, but so much happens and it covers such a large span of time, and I actually think they do a good job of having the audience connect to the characters, especially in the beginning. Like, they do a really good job sort of setting it up. That surprises me, that somebody would say that they didn't connect us to the characters. Half stars, kinda mid, no Transformers. That's good. Okay, let's move on to another favorite film. Okay, here's a recent 5-star. Well, it's not a new watch for me, but Gone Girl, I recently rewatched. It has an average of 4.1 stars on Letterboxd. What did my most recent review say? More chilling with every rewatch. Stunning performance by Rosamund Pike and by Emily Ratajkowski. You guys know what I'm talking about. Okay. This movie is so good, and I remember the first time I saw it, I'm pretty sure I saw it in theaters, and I was just like, the whole time, it just goes so hard. Like, the whole time I'm like, what the heck is going on here? It's so insane. I did not read the book before watching it for the first time, but I have read the book since, and I think it's a pretty good adaptation, to be honest. We'll sort this. If I one day meet someone who has a letterbox and they got this movie logged 11 times at 5 stars like some of you, I am running away. I don't have it logged 11 times, but I do have it logged multiple times at 5 stars. So, run away, girl. Expertly crafted and superbly acted, Gone Girl unfortunately gets lost in its own web, turning it into the biggest disappointment of the year. The biggest disappointment of the year. This came out in 2014. Surely there were other films that came out this year that were disappointing. It gets lost in its own web. I feel like it's pretty easy to follow. Okay. Here's another one. Not necessarily misogynistic, but definitely unbalanced in that it ultimately equates a philandering schmuck with a murderous sociopath, prodding us to conclude that they deserve each other. I don't think that's what it's doing. I think you almost feel bad for Nick Dunn at the end. It's hard to, because of all the bad shit he's done, but like, I don't think it's trying to get the audience to feel that they deserve each other. I think it's just not a happy ending, because it's not meant to have a happy ending, and they kind of are just stuck to each other, and they need their own sort of crazy match. But yeah, I don't really agree with that. So okay, let's look at the rest of my 5-star films. Can I do that? Okay. Sort by... Do you guys hear my cat? Hi, baby. Okay. Oh, let's talk about Poor Things. I gave Poor Things 5 stars. I also just watched Kinds of Kindness this weekend, or this week, a few days ago, and I will definitely be talking about that in a future video. But you guys will have to let me know if you watched Kind of Kindness and what you thought. Okay, I just saw Poor Things once in theaters. I gave it 5 stars, and I said, heartwarming and visually astonishing. What a film. Okay, I know a lot of people would not agree with me calling it heartwarming, but this has an average of 4 stars. let's check out some bad reviews. Okay. Half star. This is such a male fantasy of what female empowerment feminism could be like. All clit, no feelings. As soon as anything deep or meaningful could be explored, it shies away from it. Like, enough with that, back to the fucking. I wish there were more unrestrained, glorious, pleasurable sex in movies, but this is just nasty in a bad way. And a lot of critics / people don't seem to be bothered that these men are having sex with a literal child brain person. Okay. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but at the end he says Frankenstein's that's not what he meant to say. Frankenstein's manic pixie fuck doll monster. You know, thank you. I'm pretty sure everybody was bothered by the men having sex with the child-brained adult body. I'm pretty sure that's part of what makes the whole film so messed up. I'm pretty sure everybody got that memo. And I'm pretty sure everybody knows that this was like rape and bad. Like, the reason I call it heartwarming and that a lot of people feel that way is because you get to watch this person grow and learn and develop true emotion and feelings and experience happiness and joy, despite the horror that she's been through. And I know a lot of people talk about like, this movie is bad feminism, and honestly, when did Yorgos Lanthimos ever say that this was supposed to be about feminism and liberation? Like, I think people are just like reading into it. I mean, there's a lot to read into, but like people saying like, this is bad feminism. It's like, I don't think this was supposed to be a movie about feminism. Here's another one. I saw someone refer to this as a female version of Frankenstein, which is funny because Frankenstein was written by a brilliant woman and this was quite obviously written by a man. That's funny. That's good. This is what happened to Barbie after she went to the gynecologist. All right, let's move on. Ooh, okay. Let's talk about Hereditary. Hereditary, that is a 5-star film for me. All these are 5-star films for me. I have not written a review on Hereditary, but it has an average of 4 stars on Letterboxd. So let's read some reviews. Some mean ones. Okay, this isn't like a bad review, but very hard to rate a movie that I know is made very well, but that I also never want to think about ever again in my goddamn life. Period. I showed this movie to my boyfriend several months ago. He was wanting to watch a horror, and he lets me show him a lot of horror films because he was not hadn't seen a ton before we started dating like a year and a half ago, and so he lets me show him stuff. And he said, I want to see something that's really gonna scare me and fuck me up. So I showed him this, and the scene of the grandma in the corner, he literally references it all the time, and it's just funny that it mission accomplished. Okay, A24, we're done. This is a long review, but I'll read bits of it. No more of these half-realized genre picks, technical exercise calling cards. May Under the Skin remain the only great film you've released. Okay, and Spring Breakers. Okay, I hated Under the Skin and Spring Breakers, so I obviously just vehemently disagree with this person. Here we go. Okay, so what's wrong with Hereditary? It's cynical, but not so obviously at first. The first half begins with quite an unexpected plot point and builds upon it with an eerie, grief-felt, and almost at the edge of tears and laughter kind of atmosphere. Okay, then it says, it lamely falls back on the kind of final half hour that dissolves first into absurdity and second into cynicism. What Hereditary does is try to explain why we should be afraid or why we were afraid before. It doesn't add up, and it doesn't have the heart, nerve, or audacity to accept that. It would rather seem ambiguous and deep, as if it were pulling one over on the audience, but its last trick is predictable, lazy old news. This person sounds really pretentious and like they hate fun. So, we're gonna move on. Here we go. 1 star. A couple engaging ideas about grief and trauma, completely subsumed by one perfect shotism and overbearing histrionic horror cliche. Every image, every visual concept has to be over-explained and drowned in thematic significance. Nothing can just exist on screen. Nothing is just meant to terrify. It all has to mean something, and thus it can rarely be truly frightening. It's part of the trend of horror movies that condescend to horror as a genre, stealing its trappings for use in dumb psychological chamber drama. Hereditary has little respect for or understanding of its predecessors, which makes for frustrating viewing. Still, Alex Wolff is phenomenal. He manages to sell some of the film's worst impulses. There's been like a trend of people online talking about how they hate when horror movies are like over-explained and that it takes away from the horror. This movie is still scary, even though they explain it at the end. That does not negate all of the like spooky feeling for the entire film. I don't get that. I recently also saw The Watchers, which I'll talk about in a future video, but people were talking about how they hate that The Watchers, how it explained everything and it should have just let the people keep guessing. And it's like, but what does that have, like, how does that take away from the story? I like when endings are totally inconclusive and you have to determine themselves. I like when endings are wrapped up nicely. Like, I just don't understand. I don't know. But Alex Wolff is phenomenal. She's right about that. Okay, let's do 2 more. Okay. Let's do, oh my god, let's do School of Rock, which has a 5-star rating from me. This is the lowest rated film on Letterboxd that I've talked about, with an average of 3.8 stars. I love School of Rock, and fun fact, I actually wrote a scholarship essay to get into college about School of Rock, which was, it asked me to talk about a fictional character that I connected with most, and I certainly wrote mine about Dewey Finn. I didn't get the scholarship, but I stayed true to myself. Okay. I don't know how anybody could not like this movie, honestly and truly. Like, who is out here not liking this? 1/2 star. Teachers aren't supposed to act like that. Well, that's because he's not a teacher. 1/2 star. I'm high and I hate this movie. Wait, this is funny. 1/2 star. Loses all the points for the unrealistic programming of lights and the bass player being in the front. That's so real. 1/2 star. Jack Black is not funny. There, I said it. What a hot take. That's an insane. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do Split. I recently rewatched and reviewed Gets Better with Every Watch, and I stand by that. Okay, and this, oh my gosh, this is rated lower than School of Rock. Average of 3.5 stars. I'm shocked. Okay. That's crazy. Okay. 2 stars. Oh, that is way too long a review. I'm not even gonna look at it. Two stars. She could have left the car in the beginning so easily, but she could have. But have you ever heard of freezing? Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn? She froze. Not her fault. Okay, 2 stars. Anya Taylor-Joy deserves better than this. I didn't really find this as severely offensive as others have. However, as a mentally ill person myself, I'm ready for this mentally ill people are dangerous horror trope to cease. Not only is it tactless, but also seldom compelling. Still searching for that M. Night Shyamalan movie that I'll be able to love. Don't think it's gonna happen, though. Okay, hot take. I think all the people saying, like, this is bad for people with mental health problems. As somebody who has mental health issues myself, that's a little sensitive and, like, kind of ridiculous. He's not a murderer because he's mentally ill. He's mentally ill and he's also a murderer. So, let's just not be so serious about everything. The acting is amazing, the ending is horrible. No, I can totally understand that. I agree that the acting is amazing. I agree that the ending is perhaps not for everyone. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was like a really good, like, realistic way to like wrap everything up. The Bruce Willis bit is like confusing if you don't know what's going on, for sure. So I get why that scene would like not be favorable. Okay, and then a 5-star review. Deeply revolted. That's so intense. Deeply revolted by the sequel-esque ending, not to mention the way the main character was saved, and with only a handful of very thrilling sequences overall. Split's structurally uncohesive anatomy is orderly demolished by a mediocre script and an unflinchingly substandard, poorly directed finale. Absolute shit. The way the main character was saved was so realistic and haunting, and I thought it packed the perfect punch. But the sequel-esque Bruce Willis thing, again, totally get it. A handful of thrilling sequences. I don't know. I was pretty intrigued and thrilled. I saw this in theaters originally, and it definitely like stressed me out. I've seen it lots of times since then, but also calling it a mediocre script, I just think anything that could be said about this film structurally is completely obliterated by the acting performances of Anya Taylor-Joy and James McAvoy, and nothing else matters. I love the story, but I think nothing else matters. So, anyways, you guys will have to let me know if you like this, your thoughts on any of the films I discussed. Maybe give me a film you've rated 5 stars recently. Let me know if you want to do a part 2. I could also do the opposite, where I could read 5-star reviews about films that I hated, that I gave 1 star, and I could do the spell books. Let me know what you guys want me to do. I hope that you are staying safe, happy, and healthy, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!